Hi, I'm Amy Jordan, and I'm the creator of WundaBar Pilates. Today we're going to do 10 moves that are going to focus on your upper body, but the great part about Pilates is that we incorporate every single body part into every single move. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do today is called a long bridge, and we're going to do it with leg lifts. So we're going to get our hands as wide as the mat, lengthen the legs out in front of you, heels are touching, toes are turned out. And make sure we're not hanging in the shoulders or the hips. We want to lift and lengthen the entire body. Now I like to imagine a puppet string coming from the upper inner thigh on the right leg to float that leg up and slowly bring it back down. Now the left leg has that puppet string, and you can alternate sides at your own pace. Just keep it controlled. Continuing to lift up and out of the shoulders and elbows, holding the pelvis steady as the legs float up. Doesn't have to be a great big leg lift. We want to keep the pelvis quiet and the core deeply engaged on the front and back line of the body. We're going to do one more on either side. And then we're going to go into one of our signature moves, our Wundabesque. So bring both feet down, and we're going to lower the hips all the way down to the floor. We're going to roll onto our hands and our toes, lengthening into a plank position to start. Then we're going to bend the knees and reach the hips back. From here, lengthen the left leg up and back behind you so that we're on the right leg only. As we exhale, we're going to bend the left knee, straighten the right leg, and round the spine. So that's a lot happening at one point. We're lifting off of the hands and wrists, keeping lots of length the whole time, nodding the chin, drawing the leg in with the deep abdominals. We're going to do one more of those with control. Exhale as you draw it in. Inhale as you lengthen out. And then we're going to bring both knees down to the mat. From here, we're going to go into a hover leg crossover. So starting in a modified 4-point kneel position, elbows down and knees 4 inches apart. First things first, we're going to activate those triceps deeply by hovering the elbows off the mat. And then we're going to float the right leg behind us without shifting our weight into the left hip too much. Then the right leg is going to cross over the midline of the body, tap the floor on the other side of the mat, and come back. Lots of length in the spine. Navel is up and in. Last one. Bring it all the way back to start, and the leg floats down. We're going to go into a little side bend and flex here, starting with our left forearm down, and our left knee is bent. The right arm reaches up, and the right leg floats. On an inhale for length, we're going to lift off the floor and draw the elbow and the knee into flexion. Notice I'm not jamming them in to touch one another. We're finding lots of length. Then we're going to exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we rise. Exhale as we lower down. Keeping that right leg up and off the floor the whole time. This is the last one. We're going to go into a 4-point kneel hover. And go ahead and bring it down. So turn onto your hands and knees again, and we're going to do a little twist on our 4-point kneel. So rather than flipping your toes under, which you might have already done, keep the tops of your feet flat. It's going to help us find the deep abdominals. So we're going to lift off of the shoulders, broaden the collarbones, and bring the heart up in between the shoulder blades. Now we're going to think about an exhale as the deep abdominals hover the knees off the floor, and then we're going to lower it back down. So keep the movement small. I like to think about a hammock under my abdominals, and that's what's kind of lifting me up rather than bracing with the abs. You want to find deep connection alongside the spine. Think about the collarbones staying wide. This is the last one. And allow the knees to come back down. All right, we're going to go into a crisscross hold with a toe tap. It's quite a mouthful. Go ahead and lay down on your back. Hands come interlaced behind the base of the skull to go into a shallow abdominal curl. We are going to take the right knee up into a tabletop position. Left leg hovers out nice and long, and rotate the ribs. Hold. So this is our crisscross position with lots of length on the front body. And here's the toe taps. It looks like this. The right leg doesn't change its bend. We're going to move from the hip socket, not the knee joint. So we're going to inhale as we lower, exhale as we bring it in. If that's aggressive on your low back, you can always draw the left knee into tabletop position as well and continue with the toe taps on the right. This is the last one. And allow both legs to float down as you unwind the torso. Let's go back into the hover leg taps on the other side. So our hands are going to go wide, shoulder width distance on the mat again. Knees are 4 inches apart parallel. The elbows are going to draw down, and again you can choose to hover or not. This time the left leg is going to reach up and back, holding the pelvis quiet and the spine long. We're going to tap the opposite side of the mat, crossing the midline of the body, and coming back up to your best diagonal line. So the temptation is going to be to look forward like this. You can see that really shortens the back line of my neck and the spine, and that's not a good idea. So keep your head in line with your spine in a beautiful diagonal, and it challenges the core even more deeply. And with control, bring that leg back down. We're gonna go into the side bend with the right arm down to start with. Right knee is also bent. Left leg hovers and left arm reaches up. On the inhale for length, we're going to allow the knee and elbow to come towards one another, and the exhale, return down to start. The idea here is to really engage the abdominals to lift you with the arm and shoulders. So we're not just shoving off the arm like this. Really do it in one fluid movement, lifting and lengthening as we reach. Exhaling as we narrow the corset. We're going to hit that Wundabesque on the other side next. And bring it down. So let's do the Wundabesque on the left leg. So that means the left leg is going to stay down. Hands come wide. Find your best plank position. Bend both knees back without sticking your hips up too high. This time the left leg stays down. Right leg reaches back. And as we shift the weight forward, the right knee bends and the spine curls. That's an exhale. Inhale as you unwind. Arms stay long the whole time. Exhale as you bend and round. Inhale as you draw it back. So even as we curl, guys, we want to aim for length on the front body. We don't want to crowd at any point. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you round. Inhale to unwind to start. Come all the way down. All right, last thing before we stretch. We're going to go into upper body jumps. So this is similar to what we would do on a jump board on a reformer. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the elbows down, hover over the heels, and on the inhale, we're going to come up and rotate the ribs. Exhale, lower back down. Think about the ribs lifting off of the pelvis to raise. Otherwise, the quads are going to want to take over, and we want to make sure the whole body is working together to raise and lower you. You've got the inner thighs coming up alongside the spine, and the breath lifting you as the front side of the hips extends. Let's do one more other side. And bring it all the way in. All right, guys, you made it. Let's go ahead and stretch. We're gonna go into a child's pose with a rotation. So knees come wide, big toes come together. We're gonna lower down into a child's pose. I like to think about separating my lower back from my upper back with breath. And we can add in a little rotation here where the left arm glides under and you lower the left shoulder down. Take a breath. And now the right arm comes under. Take one breath here. And come on up. Amazing work. If you want to do several breath cycles on each side of that rotation to really open through the sidelines of the body, that's a great choice too. I'm Amy Jordan, and if you want more workouts, subscribe to Livestrong's YouTube channel today.